Max was a lively 6-year-old, always buzzing with excitement and curiosity. One bright morning, he was playing in the hallway, dashing from room to room as he pretended to be a superhero on a mission. The game was simple: each door he shut became a barrier he'd heroically break through to rescue his toys. But in his excitement, he didn't notice how quickly he was moving, and how close his hand was to the doorframe. He pushed the door shut with a quick swing, and in an instant, pain shot through his hand. His small fingers had been caught in the door as it closed. Max let out a yelp of pain, his face turning pale as he pulled his hand free. His fingers throbbed, and he noticed a few small spots of blood on his hand. Hearing her son's cry, Max's mom, Sarah, rushed over. She found him holding his hand, his face streaked with tears. "Oh, sweetheart, let me see," she said gently, her voice calm but full of concern. Max hesitated, but he trusted his mom and slowly opened his fingers to reveal the injury. The skin on 2 of his fingers looked red and bruised, with a small cut where the door had pinched them. "Don't worry, Max. I'm right here," she assured him, reaching for a tissue to gently press against the bleeding. "You're so brave. We're going to take care of this, okay?" Max nodded, his teary eyes focused on his mom's calm expression. Sarah kept pressure on his fingers, then lifted the tissue to check. The bleeding had slowed, but she noticed some swelling and knew they should see a doctor to be safe. "We're going to the doctor, Max," she said, wrapping his hand carefully in a soft cloth. "They'll make sure everything's okay, and you'll feel better in no time." Max sniffled but felt comforted by his mom's words. Sarah helped Max into the car, buckling him in as gently as possible to avoid bumping his sore hand. The drive felt a little longer than usual to Max, who kept glancing at his hand, still wrapped in the cloth. His mom talked to him along the way, telling stories to distract him from the pain, and soon they arrived at the clinic. Inside, they sat in the waiting room filled with colorful chairs and soft music. Max looked around, spotting a box of toys in the corner. Despite his injury, he couldn't resist the urge to wander over, his good hand reaching for a small action figure. Sarah smiled, watching him, and was glad to see a spark of his usual playfulness. Before long, a nurse called Max's name. They followed her into an exam room with bright posters of animals on the walls. Max took a seat on the paper-covered exam table, feeling a bit nervous as he looked at the equipment around him. Sarah stood close by, reassuring him with a gentle hand on his shoulder. The doctor arrived, a kind woman with a warm smile who immediately noticed Max's concern. "Hey there, Max. I hear you had a little accident with your hand," she said, putting on gloves as she sat down beside him. "I'm just going to take a look and see how we can help, okay?" Max nodded, still holding tightly to his mom's hand. The doctor carefully unwrapped the cloth and inspected his fingers, asking Max to wiggle them slightly to check for movement. Max winced a bit but tried his best. "It looks like you have a little bruise and a small cut, but you're lucky. It doesn't seem like anything's broken," the doctor said with a reassuring smile. "We'll clean it up and bandage it, and then you'll be good to go. You'll need to be careful with this hand for a few days, though." Max nodded bravely, watching as the doctor cleaned his fingers with a gentle antiseptic. The sting made him flinch, but his mom held his other hand tightly, whispering encouragement. The doctor then wrapped his injured fingers in a soft, comfortable bandage. "There you go, superhero Max," she said, patting his hand lightly. "You were very brave today. And look, this bandage makes you look like a real hero." Max managed a small smile, feeling a bit better. The doctor handed him a sticker with a superhero on it, which Max accepted with pride. "Remember, Max," she added, "doors can be tricky. But now you know to keep your fingers safe." Max and his mom thanked the doctor, and soon they were back in the car heading home. Sarah glanced over at her son, who looked tired but relieved, his bandaged hand resting in his lap. "I'm so proud of you," she said, smiling as they pulled into their driveway. At home, Max sat on the couch with his mom, recounting his adventure to his favorite toy, a stuffed lion named Leo. "I was so brave, Leo," he said, showing the lion his bandaged hand. Sarah chuckled, grateful that Max's spirit was back. As bedtime approached, Max felt tired but proud. He placed Leo next to him and carefully rested his bandaged hand on his pillow. Before falling asleep, he thought about everything he had learned that day, that accidents happen, that his mom was always there to help him, and that even superheroes needed to be careful sometimes.